Hey, welcome back.
We made it. Mama, we made it.
Thank God.
Thank God. 2019 has proven to be a bitch already. Damn it,
Season
man.
2,
Episode 1 of
Sometimes we talk about yoga.
And lots of other shit.
And today is the other shit.
Yes, it is.
We're about to get into the other shits.
Yes.
So we cannot let this day go past without discussing
that
R. Kelly.
Ugh.
And it wasn't even anything that we were even going to discuss.
No.
We weren't even going to talk about R. Kelly or anything about R. Kelly.
Wasn't on our list.
I feel as though R. Kelly has been the catalyst that has kicked butt in other layers of people, and it's disturbing other people's insides that have been through
people
other
have been
hard,
triggered
from trauma, and it's bringing all of these things up. And I know as far as like our era, we were in that Aaliyah era when everything was happening, but nothing was real time for us. Everything came.
Social media changed everything.
Social media
we didn't
changed
have that
the game.
in the 90s.
So no, in the 90s, we didn't know. We would hear the stuff. We were like, "Is that true? Did he do that? Were they together?"
Girl.
You know, so that all kicked off. So to see everything live and clear was rough. Was hard to digest. And so this episode today is discussing really violence, abuse, controlling, physical, whatever it may be that you have, and to know, are you in an abusive, physical, emotional relationship that you know or that you don't know, and how do you get out?
How do you get out?
So question, have you ever been in an abusive relationship?
No.
Wow, really? Never?
No.
I think me and all my friends just fucked up.
No.
Never?
Abusive
no, physical. Okay, so
relationship.
stay with me. Physical, emotional, verbal.
No.
Congrats.
That does not mean bad shit has happened.
Mm-hmm.
It has not happened in relationships. But in terms of being in a situation where I was physically controlled, sexually controlled, financially controlled, or
emotionally controlled,
ongoing. I mean, people be manipulative.
Yes.
And people be lie, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at past relationships and current relationships, I can honestly say my answer is no.
That's what's up. That's good.
I can tell you one story though.
Yeah.
That happened in high school, and this was not a relationship, but you know, we went to the same high school, just different years. And so the different houses, and you have to go through those hallways. And, you know, I don't know what grade I was. Maybe even 9th. I was early. Flirty with somebody maybe the next grade or two older with me. And I was rushing to class because, you know, the bell and then the warning bell. And dude, like, pinned me to the corner of, like, in the hallway, so I couldn't get through the hallway to get to the house. And whereas some girls might have received that and been like, oh my God, he really wants me to stay with me, I freaked the fuck out. Wow. And so I think that fight or flight in me probably just kind of saved me from ever
dealing with
like that. Probably being triggered by other people if they had that
come to you.
And so now I'm not fucking with you. I'm not going to date you because maybe I saw some of that.
Right.
So I remember that, but that wasn't a relationship.
Right. So yes, I have been, but it was one that I knew I was in. Okay. So like my history, like my mother is a domestic violence advocate and has been
like your whole life,
almost my whole life.
Wow.
So like even when I was a kid, we would volunteer. Well, me and my sister would volunteer at shelters.
So you were aware
so aware. I grew up like around domestic violence shelters, in shelters. That's how my sister learned how to speak sign language.
Wow.
Because one of the girls there
was deaf.
Yeah.
And was signing.
Mm-hmm. And so my mother would run the shelter. She still does. And she helps to like, now she does it on a national level though. Hey Ma, which we got a lot of our information you'll hear later from her. But so I was always clear what it was. So when I was away at college, there was this guy that I was dating.
Okay.
And I knew he was controlling.
Okay.
And it was unfortunate, but he had a car, you know, and so for us it would benefit us and my friends. And I'm not saying it's right.
No, but there are all kinds of reasons. There are all kinds.
I'm just saying it was at school. It was tight. We didn't have phones. We didn't have jobs. You know, so he could get us around where we needed to go. And I saw all of these tendencies in him, and I was like, he's crazy. Like, and I knew I was crystal clear about his craziness.
How long did you deal with dude?
Okay, so this went on for about like almost most of the first year. Most of the first year. And I didn't even want to talk to him, really. Like, he was a cute guy, but one of my friends, I won't say her name, but
she just gave you a look, whoever
right,
you are.
Whoever you are. But she was like, but, you know, he can help us. So I liked him, but not ooh. And then once I saw who he was, it was just very hard to backtrack my way out of it. And then he always wanted us to be together, to stay together, to this. So I would lie to him and say I had stuff to do when I didn't have stuff to do. And he would just pull up in front of the building and like sit there. And then he would take rocks because he knew what dorm we were in. And he would throw rocks up at the window and then call into the room like, I know you're in there.
So maybe I have not been, but I've been close friends with people who have been. And I have memories of things like that, like in high school, not even in college, in high school, of guys who would park down the street outside us. But that's your parents' house, like, or like all night. Yeah. And these guys, for some reason, I'm controlling. They always had like no parents following up on them.
No, nobody
was
do
whatever the hell
they could do whatever they want to do. This dude's, so then finally, I was like, okay, look, you're crazy. I'm not doing this anymore because you've taken this like just way too far. So he calls one day and is like, you know, could you just come take a ride with me? I know we're not together, but I just want to talk.
Oh my God, I am triggered, and I just, triggered? But I feel I'm gonna tell you why. But tell me what happened.
So, me being young, not aware, and not conscious, which is that's what happens to a lot of women. They're just young, not aware, not conscious. I go, okay. Get into the truck. He's driving a stick. So he said he just wanted to ride around campus. Immediately he starts to make his way off of campus and picks up the pace. So I realized what's happening.
Where the hell was he taking you?
I'm not done. So he's driving a stick, driving the car. I'm opening the door because I'm just about to jump, stop, drop, and roll. Like, that what was in my head, because I said, oh, this is crazy. Like, I got to leave. So I'm just trying to open the door to get out. He's slamming the door.
Wait, driving the stick, working the clutch, driving the stick with this,
having me to the side. Every time I open the door, he slammed the door, bring me right back here.
I need to remind y'all how tall Lisa is and how small she is. So, like, she's fully folded. And
this is how I was in his truck, right?
So she's 4'11", right?
Yeah, not even that. Probably like 4'9", 4'10".
And then you were probably teeny.
Yes. So he's doing all of the boo 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 boo.
Right.
And at this point the pace is picked up in the car.
So he's driving fast and reckless.
So we get to his apartment and I'm in my head trying to talk my way through this. Now, mind you, my mother is a domestic violence.
So you're probably thinking of like, what am I doing?
So I'm clear, like, also no, I've had domestic violence manuals since I was like in middle school. I mean, manuals that have put together. I made copies. Here, Lisa, you keep that. That's how you know. So I fully knew what was happening. I wasn't naive. Get out the truck. It's his apartment. I take off running like a track star. Like, I ran track. I know this is... He pulls out a gun.
Funny. And it's not funny, so I don't want people...
No, it's not funny.
We're making it light because she's obviously survived.
Because now... Yes.
But, and a lot of times that's nervous laughter. Right?
Nervous... It's uncomfortable laughter.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable laughter.
He pulls out a gun, and it's like, Lisa, please don't make a scene out here. So there were other people outside. So then the concern for the other people became a greater concern than my concern for myself.
So you just went...
So I went back into the apartment. Clear.
Okay, no cell phones because this is the 90s.
No cell phones. So I sit down and he's trying to plead his case to me. Like,
of why you need to be together?
Why we should get back together, right? I realize the psychological thing is happening here. So I'm like,
Thank God you had that training and background.
Yes, dear.
Okay.
What do you think? Okay. He gets up and goes to the bathroom. I pick up the phone, 911. He comes back in the room. I hang the phone up. 911 calls right back. He's right here, though. Like, like, at this point, he's sitting right here. 911 calls right back. Wrong number.
But they call back, don't they?
No, they never
did it?
No, it was done. That was done. So he goes, well, I talked my way through it so calmly. And he says, I said, well, just take me back to the place so I can get my clothes. He goes, you'll come back with me tonight? Absolutely, I'll come back with you tonight. Just let me get my stuff.
Okay.
Okay, listen. We get in the truck, go back to campus. Girl, I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. No, I'm not going. I just stayed in my dorm. And you couldn't get, this is a black college, so girls' dorms. There's no infiltrating a girls' dorm. I remember
with the mothers. Went to Tennessee State.
With the mothers at the door. No men can even, what you doing in the lobby? Like, you're not going no further than the lobby. So I stayed in the lobby, and he was calling to the room. I was like, you're crazy. This is over. Go get some help. Like, cloud.
I just had butterflies and like wanted the throw up feeling because my mother, one of my mother's good friends, lost her daughter back in like 93. Chandra Renee Johnson. She went to Lathrop. Grew up in Southfield also with us. Anyway, she went to a black college. She had a very controlling boyfriend in high school who is trying to petition to get out of jail. But he followed her to her university and killed her in broad daylight. But this was after the parents had taken out protection orders against him. After the police were always in that, unless we see some bruises or unless we see him do it, we can't do anything. He had physically held her against her will. He had kidnapped her. All these things. And so when they sent her away to college, this was a fresh start. She was in Ohio. And this person still came there, and in the middle of her college orientation, murdered this beautiful young woman. And she was a freshman in college. I think I had just completed my 9th grade year, and it still sticks to me to this day. So when you said what you said, obviously you're here right now, but all I could think about was like, does this fucking shit happen every day? This is, and my very close friends, all of us have been in some form of this, and not mentioning names in this. No. But I have close friends who have been through in near-death experiences with their spouses. A couple of friends that have had to leave their spouses in a 911 emergency leave from physical and emotional abuse. This is how close it is to me. So I can peep a controlling person, an abusive person, in 2 seconds. So if I see someone with something, I'm like, oh yeah, he's controlling. And I'll mention it, and people, and I do too, but I don't have that same. I just have the. Thank God for my gut. I just do.
Right.
I thank God for my gut.
It. But to see it. But I've had friends leaving in the middle of the night. I've had friends, with guns to their heads, like just that deep from a spouse, right? And these regular people, women, good, educated, smart, beautiful women. So from the story, people sometimes make the victims are so judgmental because they don't understand. But when you have a different mindset, like, you have to be able to understand, and everybody is not through that lens, and some people get in it later, some people come earlier, however it is. Some people never get to it. But just to be happy that they finally got it and got out. But I will say, the people controlling them, they know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
So those are the ones, the ones with the crimes, those victims. So we had to talk about this today because it sparked so much energy, emotions on the inside and outside. Just of our community, as a whole, of what women are doing. And it's not okay. And I know Randy has some things that we can...
it's not okay. And it was very tough to watch. Very tough. But after I watched it, I don't regret watching it.
No, I don't regret watching it.
And I want to take the focus off of R. Kelly. What it just let me know is, it's not just R. Kelly.
No.
There are cult leaders. No. There are church leaders.
Yes.
There are government officials.
Yes.
There are pimps. This is a way of controlling
people. It's not a race. It's not a color.
No.
It's not a creed.
So when I was watching that, I just likened R. Kelly to a pimp. I was like,
and they brought that up in there.
It's like there's something that you're able to hone in on insecurities in certain people, and you're able to draw them in with your sad story or with your music, the Pied Piper, all that stuff, whatever it is. But you're like a pimp, and then you switch. And you become the other side of that.
Yes.
And so that shit for me was just like, that is so eye-opening, because we both have sons. You have a daughter. You have daughters and sons. But we both have sons. And for me, I'm very thankful that the close men in my family don't exhibit those behaviors. But it just also...
Do you know... And I know this isn't necessarily the right thing to say. But me and my son, like, I would have to snatch him up.
Do you know?
No matter what age he was. No matter what age he was,
grown,
you're getting snatched up. Like, I don't even know what that means. And I know my mother doesn't like me to use the word like to whip because she feels like it's ancestral from slavery. But from that, but I'm not buying none of that. We are not disrespectful. We uphold women. My son got in when
toxic masculinity has got to go. I couldn't even say it because I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to give such a term. But it's out there. The term is out there. But I don't want to keep saying this thing. But that shit has got to go. We have got to raise our sons better. And as a community, if your child comes over my house, guess whose son that is now? That's my child. So it's my responsibility.
To make sure.
I'm not just going to raise my two the way I'm going to. And my husband is. And Lisa is. And their uncles are. And their... We have got to break these cycles of the way that women are viewed and used and treated by men.
I have raised my son. When my oldest son, he'll be 23, but when he was like in the 5th grade, he ended up getting into a fight with a boy. And he got into a fight with the boy because when I got to the school, they're like, well, he's suspended. I'm like, well, why is he suspended? Well, he got in a fight. Well, why did he get in a fight? And they said, well, the boy had pushed the girl and your son stood up for the girl and fought the boy.
But it was like zero tolerance.
So it was zero tolerance. And I said, I'm cool with the suspension. I'm cool with the expulsion. Are you telling me that my son protected a woman? A child? He protected a girl that was being abused by a boy? Oh, yeah, take this. We about to go get some ice cream and some shoes and all of that. And
you about to get some new Jordans.
You about to get some new Jordans. Do you hear me? Because are you telling me my son defended a girl's honor because he saw a disservice to a woman?
Love you, son.
Love you, son.
And I'm doing something right. God bless me with.
If my son stuck up for a little girl, that's the type of men that I want to raise.
Absolutely.
And anything else is not okay
unacceptable.
For me. If my son fought for a girl, I'm cool with it.
Anything else is unacceptable. And one of the things, like, it's a funny story, but it just goes into a pattern of behavior, is when my oldest, who is now middle school age, when he was very little and like, mommy, so-and-so likes me in, I don't know, whatever, young grade, but he didn't like the girl. And that's an age that could be really funny because you could push girls down or you could talk about people, your mama jokes. And I said, my one rule is you don't have to like anybody back. You don't have to like anybody. I said, but you will not be mean. You will not talk about them in front of their friends. You will not make fun of them. If other people did, you shut it down. You don't have to like somebody, but you will not demean them. You will not embarrass them.
And that's that emotional abuse is big too. That talking down, that trying to belittle, that trying to break someone down without physically putting hands on them, but to do that with your words. And women, even if you feel like you're this strong woman and I can do it and can't nobody do that to me, it happens to us too. So to be able to do that, and you constantly start chipping away at their self-esteem, their self-worth, their self-pride, till they become, so weak that they can't stand up for themselves. So all of that is not okay. And the books that my mother used to have were focused on that. That they talked about every form of abuse that there were. Can you list this? Because I know we have.
Yeah, we went through it. The sexual abuse.
Yes. So sex, someone forcing you to have sex, you don't want to have
sexual
sex.
Acts.
Sexual acts, doing sexual things that you don't want to do, that you've told them no to. Even if it's, I want to have sex tonight, I don't want to have sex tonight. Someone physically raping you, even if that is your man, your spouse, that's not okay.
Spousal rape is a thing.
Yes, it's a thing.
Is a thing. Emotional and verbal abuse.
We just talked about that. Belittling, talking about somebody, dogging them, making them feel worthless, nothingness, negative comments.
Stalking.
Like your friend. He stalked her.
He stalked her.
He stalked her until he found her.
And then what stalking in the movies is that creepy guy standing across the street looking at you through your window. But stalking is also calling you 55 times in an hour because I just want to hear your voice. I just want to hear your voice. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's also stalking.
It's stalking, and it's not okay.
Stalking is using social media to find out where you are. Stalking is contacting your friends and family. Well, what are you doing? Where are you at? What's going on? Coming up to your job, coming up to your school. Always being where you are when you think you need to be alone, or that's also stalking. So it doesn't have to be the creepy.
Right.
It's that physical abuse.
Hands-on, whether it's so this one gets tricky because I've heard people actually say well, he didn't punch me,
he just pushed me.
The comedians make a joke sometimes, like, I just shook the shit out of her. Which, sidebar, that was a funny joke, but it's not okay, right? It's not. So the grabbing, the shaking.
I want to put a pin in the fact that we have made things.
We've made it a joke because comedians have said, like, it's not.
I hit her. I just shook the shit out of her,
which was funny when he said it.
But then when you
have to sit with it, when you sit with it, especially now, it's not okay.
The piss on you from Dave Chappelle. I laughed my ass off. I'm so mad at myself.
First of all. Dave Chappelle just had some reruns. Let me just give you that. I taped 15 of them. And I watched the Rick James one the other day. And that I Want to Piss on You was classic. It was horrible, though. It's horrible because now I go back and I'm watching that like, oh shit, because I never watched it.
We made a joke about it. But
I never watched the video. I will say.
I never
watched the video, so I didn't see it. So I'm like, did he pee on the girl? Did he not do the girl?
Jesus Christ.
But we found a way to make it ha ha ha, it's okay if you do this to a woman. But all of that is still physical abuse. Yes. So no one is allowed to grab, pinch, push, hit,
pull hair,
smack. I don't care.
Grip, hold.
Hold, fear. Oh. It's not, none of it's okay. No, it's not okay. What's next?
Financial.
Withholding money, putting you on like, you have $20 a week. You can't do this. Bring me your checks. I'm in control of your finances. I buy for you.
Nothing's in
I
your
buy
name.
your clothes for you. I buy whatever you need for you. The house is in my name. The car is in my name. You borrow this. And then if I want to take everything away, I take everything away and you have nothing.
And my disclaimer is, a lot of times we will be referring to this as man to women. It could be opposite.
Absolutely.
And it can happen in homosexual relationships.
Same-sex relationships. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I'm glad you said that.
Somebody holding the bag,
yes,
and you depending on that person to give you pennies to survive.
It's still true.
Yeah. So this was new, digital abuse.
This one is new, digital. So please know, like, my mom, again, like I said, is a national domestic violence advocate. So she sent us the link for this. But the digital abuse, the going online now, which back in the day, this was never an option, but to go online and to stalk and to communicate
and bully
people, which, we say the cyberbullying, but the same thing is still a form
of abuse. It's mental abuse, but using a digital platform. To create your fear, to put your intimidation in effect. That is, when I think about the fact that our children have iPhones, as much as we think we're monitoring, it just makes me want to step my game up a little bit more
and monitor more, and
just to make sure that even if it's not him or friends of theirs, they might be watching some shit that's digital abuse, because if YouTube pops up all kinds of crazy stuff on that little sideline.
But so from this conversation sparked because Andrea Kelly, R. Kelly's wife, said that when she finally looked up the forms of abuse in the thing,
oh God,
in my heart,
was it 15 of 17?
She said she was 15 of 17. So I don't know if women actually know what they're in. And I have friends who have had conversations.
Didn't you tell me that? Like, you've known some people who didn't know they were being
abused? They didn't know that they were being abused until they had conversations with people from the Domestic Violence Institute to know, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that's what I was in. Because when you're in it, the fog is so cloudy that you can't see. Everyone else can see it but you. So for her, that was the thing that sparked the reason why we had to talk about this today. Because if anybody sees this, if anybody is experiencing any of these signs,
there are things you can do. And so this blew my mind. So when you Google, if you just Google domestic abuse, whatever, there's the first one that pops up is the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. It's the ncadv.org. And it gives you some of the things to recognize if you're being abused and resources. But like blaring at the bottom of the screen, there was this red button and it said safety zone or safety something. And I was like, what the hell is this? It kept blinking. So I clicked it. Lisa, do you know that shit cut down the whole web page? It said URL not available. So then I was like, oh, then it pressed back. And then it said website not found. So I pressed back again. It took me to the weather.
So if anybody was to go on the computer after you, they would not see that you were Googling domestic violence or help.
If I'm in a situation and I'm trapped and I'm Googling, I make my way to a laptop or a
Yes.
computer or phone, and I'm doing this, and I hear footsteps, somebody's coming behind me, I can press the button. I was just checking the weather.
And nobody would know. So there are ways to get out, and in your area, shelters, Google, give them the 800 number,
There's it's called the hotline.org.
So that's the website,
yes.
the hotline.org.
Mm-hmm. The chat line is 1-800-799-7233. And
say it one more time.
1-800-799-7233. And you can also go on that website or call and get national and local resources. You can do the survey.
Mm-hmm.
I found where they had an actual escape plan worksheet. I thought that was dope.
It prepares you how to get out.
Even like, you might not even know the first thing. Where do I begin?
Mm-hmm.
I remember in the thing when she said she didn't even know what to do. She had $2,500 cash and her 3 children, and she just left. And like, but what was she gonna do? And didn't they say it takes 10 times for a person to leave?
Yes.
Before they find. So just having a plan, even seeing it in written form, makes it more real.
Yes.
So I thought that was so cool.
Yes.
And then it just talked about all of the layers of how, in addition to getting out and getting help, one of the websites had a resource for reconstructive and cosmetic surgery. I didn't even consider that.
So he can't find you.
Or you've been so fucked up.
That's what I mean. Oh, yes.
And so your face, whatever, you have no teeth.
Right.
It's anything. So there's twofold. Like,
That's
you can do it to alter yourself.
Yes.
You need to go into hiding. Or I need to fix myself because physically I've been broken.
So bad.
Not just internally and physically. I've been broken.
Right. But from this, healing can come. So,
healing can come. That's the thing. That's what we're focused on.
The healing.
Because we know hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And when you begin to heal yourself, that healing is like you're casting, you're just exuding that energy. That you heal your children, or you heal your sister, you heal your mother. And
then I have friends that they're survivors, so now their lives are different because they have overcame that. And my one girlfriend tells a story, and she said this the other day, again, after watching the Surviving the R. Kelly. She said, I keep hearing it ring in my head. You told me he's gonna kill you one day. And she remembers like when the gun was to her head. And she said, to this day, I play that in my head to say it. So, if you're out there and you're going through something like this traumatic, or you have these feelings, or your gut instinct, or he's, physically, emotionally abusive, there are stages to this stuff, which is one thing that I learned from my mom. Her name is Umi Hankins. But one thing that I learned from her was that there's going to be a level. It'll start like this, and then it'll slowly get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
We saw that from the
R. Kelly documentary.
Like, it started with one thing, and now he has morphed into to
something else. Or even the girls would say, well, it wasn't that bad at first. He just did this. He just did that. And then it went to that. So my mother always said that. And she would tell my friends that too, like, yeah, he's doing that today, but that's just where he's going to start. It's like a
snowball. It's like it keeps getting bigger, 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 and suddenly it's this massive glacier, and nobody can control it. No. And that is the problem. And I don't even want to focus on him. He needs a whole other kind of help that I don't even know how to even begin to talk about. But for the women or men or people that come out of this, there's PTSD.
Yes.
There's Stockholm syndrome. Because people don't understand how people go back or how they sympathize with their abuser. I've seen a lot of criticism. One night, the comments shut me the fuck down. I just went to bed. Mm-hmm. I had watched the thing, and then I got on social media, and I started scrolling through the comments. No. And I was like, we as a society, I feel like we need to reprogram the way we respond to women when they've been abused, particularly black women. And particularly, we talked about this, black women at the hands of black men. Everybody is not trying to hem black men up. Some black men need to be hemmed up, held to the cross, put under the jail because they've done this crime. Same for white men, Jewish men, Hispanic men, Asian men, whatever color men. It's not a race thing from that perspective. The perspective is, why do we criticize Black women when we have been the victims?
I don't know. I don't know why we do that. And I've actually had a few conversations with a few women, and these particular women were younger.
Okay.
So maybe like the millennial age. Okay. And so me trying to explain to them and them not getting, well, how did it happen like that? How did it happen? And you know, if you aren't that type of person, or you just don't see it from your eyes, I wanted to like not get angry, but I want you to understand why we don't victim blame.
Yeah,
we don't blame the victims for what they went through, because that's even worse, right? It's very frustrating. So it's not their fault. We are focused on getting them through and their healing, but not why did this happen to you?
And people criticize the healing. Because they don't understand, and we don't fully understand all the steps a person that's been so traumatized will have to go to and through.
Baby, listen, it's been over a decade, and one of my girlfriends still has triggers from when that happened to her.
Probably for life.
And then things will, and it'll shake her like. It's these things, and I don't even know. I only know what she told us happened in the relationship.
So you probably know
I don't even necessarily know
everything
that she really went through. But I do want to say that she overcame it. She came through it. She left, and now she's stronger and has moved on with her life. So to know that just if you're there, you're stuck, you're low, you can come through it.
Yeah.
And be stronger.
And I do want partners and family members and friends to just do your own work to help support somebody that's been in a traumatic situation like that. Do your research. Maybe go seek therapy yourself to understand how to support. Don't assume that just being there is enough. I feel like everyone needs some education.
And then, so this happens, and I know we need to wrap up, but my daughter calls me from school and was saying that a guy was trying to talk to her, but she was giving me signs of controlling things that he was saying. And she was like, Mom, it feels like. I said, no. So to know the signs, like if it's the first date, if it's the second date, if it's the phone call and it's, well, where are you? Well, you should be here. Well, you should be, whoa, back up. I can see where this is going already. I gotta go. I told her, I'm like, said, we're not doing this. She was like, no, Mom, I know, but I need you to be super clear. Like, these are the signs of an abuser, someone that's controlling. So know the signs early, not on the third year if they happen to come out then, but the signs pop up. And I think things happen. Boom, 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 boom.
We would benefit from teaching our young men and women early.
Yes.
What it looks like to be an abuser and what it looks like to be abused, because maybe young men have been taught that this is the way you get your girl. Yes. And this is the way you show a girl that you're a good man because you're trying to...
Or even women feeling like, well, he loves me because he did that to me. So
if we start early, just creating a space where people can have their own agency and understand what healthy... That's the other thing your mom shared, what healthy relationship...
what a healthy relationship looks like. Okay,
yeah, and
we forgot. Okay, healthy relationship.
We laughed a little bit about this one, but...
We laughed because I don't know if I know anyone in a healthy relationship.
100%.
Let me light my Palo Santo.
Okay, I'll read it, Lisa.
Read it, girl.
Ready?
I'm ready.
The first sign of a healthy relationship is freedom.
Freedom.
Just freedom to move about and be who you are. Be yourself in a relationship. Like, not feel like you have to put on or act a certain way.
Or lie or be stifled.
Yeah, like the freedom to feel and be.
So we're lighting this Palo Santo because we're clearing
this. It is not weed.
It's not weed.
Everybody who's like, oh, y'all lit up in the...
I wish it was. Go ahead. What's number 2? Freedom.
Fairness.
Because
a lot of things that happens in abusive relationships, there is no sense of fairness.
No.
It's one-sided completely.
Their way, yes.
Boundaries.
Heck yeah, we got boundaries.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, boundaries. Don't cross them.
Trust,
for real.
Trust and support.
In every way. Trust and support me in every way.
We laughed. I was like, damn.
I don't know anybody. Anyway, this is relationship goals.
You know what? We are working. When we know better, we do better. For everybody, we can only work and strive to be more clear about healthy.
You. These are hashtag relationship goals. Healthy relationship goals.
The last one, open communication. So let's repeat. Signs of a healthy relationship. Freedom. Fairness. Boundaries. Trust and support. Open communication.
Okay. I'm with all of those.
So if we start teaching our kids early on that when you get in a relationship, you don't have to be with a person all the time. If you want to, that's great. But if you don't have to, you could do your own thing. You can hang with your friends. You can have a girls' night. You can have a guys' night. You can have friends of the opposite sex if it's platonic, and there should be no whatever. If we start teaching this early, that people can have that
then they'll know what the healthy relationship
what it feels like. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And can you do the 800 number one more time before we
Yes.
leave? So if you're having any of these issues, can you read those one more time, Randy?
Yeah, the 800 number. First of all, the website is The Hotline, THEHOTLINE.org. TheHotline.org. The 1-800 number is 1-800-799-7233. So I just wanted to share this. In addition to the trauma it causes, it costs this country so much money. I think everybody, and I don't want to end on this note, so we got to come up with something funny after this, but it costs this country annually $127 billion. That's the highest crime, rape and sexual assault. Second to that is murder. Cost the country.
That's first, but that's the first one.
That's the first one.
Right.
And 87% of rape and sexual assault victims are women. So I'll just put that out there. Followed by murder, $71 billion. Third, drunk driving. So we just need to get our shit together.
So how this can
we need to raise better kids.
Raise better kids. But how this circles back to us as being yogis too is that everybody needs to come back to their breath. We have a lot of reactionary people that are out there in the world, and they feel their ego has taken over, and I'm in control of you. You don't have a life. I control this. In yoga, we teach you to starve your ego to save your soul.
Right.
So to not have an ego about these situations, and nothing belongs to you. You know, we don't own.
You don't own another
anything.
person.
No, definitely. So.
And that's not love.
No, and that's not love. That's not love.
It isn't love.
So join us next week, guys.
God bless you.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.